All this week, we've been taking a look at the potential impact of climate change on the southeast, how it might affect our farms, our water supplies, how we're already changing our energy production.
Well, for the final part today, our environment correspondent Yvette looks at the way that potentially hotter, drier climate here in the southeast could lead to huge changes in our wildlife, especially the kinds of insects and plants that can survive, and what that might mean for us.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few more bees in here, but...
On the hunt for bumblebees. The RSPB's reserve at Dungeness is one of the region's hotspots for them, and volunteers and scientists from the Bumblebee Conservation Trust identify and record our different species throughout the summer months.
So what about that against the common?
Results from Kent are an indicator of how our bumblebees are faring nationally. The county is home to 5 of our 7 rarest species, and much work is being done to improve habitat.
Oh, it's a rare one. Is it? Yeah. Luckily, these ones are still coming through because of the long-term work we've been doing, creating more diverse habitat that continues to flower throughout the season, and drought-tolerant flowers as well. It means that even though the year may be bad, that these rare bees are still coming through.
But on the whole, last year numbers were down a third on average. The heatwave meant less pollen and nectar for the bees to feed on, and the impact is being seen this year too.
Climate change is a real worry. With increasing temperatures, we're actually seeing that the bumblebees are being pushed further north. And of course, in the UK, we've lost 97% of our wildflower meadows. So as they're being pushed further north, they may not have the right habitat for them to even go into.
It's not only insects. Across the region there are signs of stress in the natural world. At Wakehurst in Sussex, a close eye is being kept on the 7,000 trees from 40 countries.
This yew is really in middle age, just a few hundred years old, and potentially could live to 2,000 or so, but suffering really some very visible signs of stress. Damp, waterlogged soil, and then hot summers as well, periods of drought stress. And these two things over a period of time are really undermining this tree's health.
Scientists say we need to plant more trees to absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. But the answer here, Wakehurst thinks, may lie in growing exotic trees like these, varieties of southern beech, native to the southern hemisphere.
I brought you to this landscape because this is all about diversity. So these trees are all wild collected from and raised from seeds. So with every seed you have a little bit of genetic diversity. So this diverse collection of trees means that if a big stress hits them, there will be different ways of coping. There will be winners and losers, and some trees that can potentially survive a more stressful environment.
While trees and plants from warmer climes will increasingly be able to thrive here, they may bring with them problems too. The Asian hornet was seen for the first time in Kent here in Dungeness last year, and there are other invasive species moving in too. The Asian longhorn beetle from China led to more than 2,000 trees being felled in Paddock Wood to eradicate it. The oriental gall wasp reached the sweet chestnut trees in Kent, having been spread accidentally by trade to mainland Europe. And carpet sea squirt from Japan threatens our native marine life. Scientists believe climate change will mean increasing numbers of non-native creatures will be able to survive here. Some will be harmful. Kent Wildlife Trust is attempting to control the Pacific oyster, which they say smothers our blue mussel beds and the wildlife that lives within them. They were initially brought here to farm more than 50 years ago.
Back in the 60s and 70s, that wasn't an issue because these oysters require high temperatures for a certain amount of time before they can breed. However, thanks to the climate crisis that we're currently experiencing, these oysters now can breed, and once they're in the wild like they are here, that's it.
And so it's clear the southeast isn't immune to climate change. It is happening here, and many fear for the future.
Kicking the can down the road seems to assume that climate change will go away. It won't. Business as usual is not just a luxury we can't afford. It's a slow motion death sentence. It really is that serious.
Climate experts say there is still time to turn the tide, but whether it happens is up to us all. Yvette, BBC South East Today.